set up. Now it's time to get into marketing. First of all, why is marketing so important? Well, we're trying to find killer deals. And when you find a deal, you have to have somebody to sell it to if you're doing a wholesale deal. And the second thing is when we find a deal, you want to find a deal that nobody else can find. You want to find a deal, if you've got a property that nobody else knows about and the seller is motivated to sell, what's the chances you can get it for a much discounted price? It's very, very high. So marketing is important because we need to find those people that have those killer deals for sale, and we need to find the buyers in order to, link those two up so that we can do wholesale deals. So marketing is one of the most important things that you guys will do. When I'm teaching new investors, I'm always focusing on marketing. And the foundation of your marketing is going to be through Bandit Signs. Okay, so let's say you're brand new. You've never even heard the word Bandit Sign before. What is it? Well, have you ever seen those little signs on the side of the road, the little yellow signs that, or in any case, all kinds of different color signs that always advertising something for sale, or we buy houses, or during the elections you'll see a lot of politicians. They're little yard signs that are sitting at busy intersections or off the side of the road that are offering something for sale or trying to promote something. Why do politicians litter the area with Bandit signs? When there's an election, or why do you see those signs on the side of the road? The reason why is because they work. I always tell everybody, until you do put out Bandit signs, that's step number one in your marketing. You don't go to step number two unless you're already running Bandit signs. It's absolutely foundational. 10 years later, I'm still buying houses with Bandit signs, and it's so funny. Every time I sit down and talk to a veteran investor and I'm optimizing their business, one of the first questions I'm asking is if they're running Bandit signs. And if they're not, I go back to rule number one and get them started on Bandit signs. So, we're going to be talking first about buyers. So we're trying to locate buyers with Bandit signs. That's one of our first foundational steps, okay? So, first of all, let's get into some of the details of what these Bandit signs say, what they are, how big they are, what color they are. First of all, now this is for buyers. These Bandit signs are 18 by 24 inches, okay? I've tested all kinds of different sizes, and what I found is this size is the right size where it's not too big of a size, but it's not too small where you can't really see it or pay attention to it. This is the perfect size. This is where I've gotten most of my phone calls. The second thing, these Bandit signs they need to be yellow with black writing. Yellow catches your attention. There's a reason why there are a lot of traffic signs that are yellow. That catches your eye. The green ones, they blend in with, like, if there's grass, if it's white and it's snowing out, they'll blend in with snow. Those signs just don't catch your attentions like the yellow and black do. So we got 18 by 24. They're yellow signs. The writing on them needs to be handwritten. The reason why handwritten works, especially when you're buying or selling, because people think that you're a real person, okay? They think that, in the case of a buyer looking to buy a property, when I show you what we write on these, they think you're a real person down the street and this deal is totally legitimate. So for years I used to do printed signs, or not for years, for months I did printed signs, and I just didn't get the response. And really what I was thinking in my head is that somebody thought that, hey, I used to see those little signs on the side of the road, and they'd be pre-printed, and it'd be like, make $1,000 in 2 hours a day. And I always thought that was kind of fake. And I think when you print these signs, the same person's thinking if there's a house involved. So we do handwritten signs. The other thing is the writing needs to be written with a Magnum Sharpie. Basically the king size Sharpie. So you want these people to be able to see this sign from as long a distance away as possible. You don't want to, you've got only a fraction of time. If it's in an intersection and there's a green light and they're not stopping at that point, you have to make it big enough where they can see it far enough back where they can, get the number before they drive by. So we like to make those letters as big as we possibly can. The Magnum Sharpie has the tip on it is probably like an inch wide. So make sure it's a Magnum Sharpie. The other thing is we want to get a local phone number. So that's already taken care of when you did your Google Voice. You got your local phone number. If you're doing virtual wholesaling and you want to try to wholesale outside of your town, you can get a Google Voice number outside the area, and the same thing will be accomplished. But make sure it's a local number. Again, I used to see those signs on the side of the road, and they'd have make $1,000 in 2 hours a day, and it always had a 1-800 number. And I always thought that's not somebody that's local here. That's probably a scam. So I think the same thing happens when you're dealing with houses. So the main thing is let's just stick with exactly what I'm showing you here. We want to put out these signs in busy intersections. So make sure that you want as many eyeballs to see these signs as you can possibly see. So, if you put them in a residential area, only X amount of people are going to drive by. If they're in busy intersections, you're going to have 10 times as many eyeballs. That's 10 times as many people that are going to potentially be interested in what what you're trying to buy or what you're trying to sell, depending on the sign. So make sure they're in busy intersections. Also, too, make sure these signs you're going to be able to write on both signs. Both sides of the sign. So, you want to make sure somebody can see that sign coming and going. So make sure you're right on both sides. So let's talk about we'll talk about how many in a second. Let's talk about what these signs say. So when you're looking for buyers, you have to have something that the buyers want to buy. Okay, so we use a sign like for finding houses. I'll put 3-1 Ranch, which basically just means these investors that are interested in houses, they're going to know what that means. They're going to know that means a 3-bedroom, 1-bath ranch. And a ranch home is just a house that's on one level. There's no steps. There's not a 2-story. And ranch is probably one of the most popular houses around because of that. So a lot of investors like them. So I'll put 3-1 Ranch, and then what I do is I figure out, and I'm going to teach you more about this, when we do the segments on wholesaling. But I want to put a price that's really aggressive. I want to put a price that, hey, if you know that in your town, a foreclosure in whatever neighborhood you're focusing on, if those foreclosures sell for $50,000, go a little bit below the foreclosures. So if the foreclosures are 50 grand, I'll put on my sign, 3-1 Ranch, I'll put 35,000. And then I always add in the word cash. I want to make sure that these people calling know that it has to be a cash buyer. Remember, we talked about the overview with wholesaling. We want cash buyers. We want somebody that can close fast. We want somebody that knows that this is something they're not going to live in. A lot of times I'll add in Fixerupper just by adding that. It makes it so that the average homeowner doesn't think, well, I can just buy it and move into it. And here's the kicker. So I like to put owner desperate. By putting owner desperate, that's like blood in the water. That's like, they know that seller is motivated, and that gives them motivates them even more to call that sign. And then you'll put your Google Voice number, whatever that Google Voice number is. You'll put that Google Voice number in. So that's what your sign says. It's to be written on both sides. You want to put out 25 of these signs. Now, warning, When you put out 25 signs that have this written on them, your phone is going to absolutely blow up. I'm telling you, you will probably get in the neighborhood of 100 plus phone calls. Okay, these are all buyers that want this property. Now, you're saying, hey, I don't have that property yet. I don't have anything under contract. That's okay. What I want you to do in this particular case is I'm normally never going to tell you to do this, but in this particular case, when you're first starting out, don't answer the phone. Let every single call go to voicemail. The reason I want you to do that is because I haven't taught you everything to say yet, and this is an interactive training. So I want you to let it go to voicemail, and you'll see all the voicemails. It's going to go to Google Voice. They're not going to know who you are because you've got your Google Voice number. It's totally, it's not traceable. So put out 25 of these signs: busy intersections, local number, Magnum Sharpie, handwritten, yellow with black writing, 18 by 24. Where do you get these signs? You get them at signwarehouse.com. Signwarehouse.com. Okay. You're just getting these are just the corrugated signs. There's the little H, what they call H stakes. They're wire frames, wire stakes. You can just pop them in the sign, they pop in the ground. There's other websites you can go to. I think there's one we get from cheapsigns.com. There's a lot of different places you can get them, but it's one of those things where signwarehouse.com, I bought a lot of signs from them, and it's good pricing. So I'm confident that that'll also work for you as well. So you'll have all of these calls will come in, let them go to voicemail, and what I want you to do now is I want you to go to signwarehouse.com and get those ordered. This is an interactive training. I got to get you to take action, so get those ordered, and then hit pause and then come back.